first Lidl National League game of 2023 and the very first live stream through in 2 o'clock, Donegal against Galway. So that's coming up. Both teams are here and we are going to have a look right now at those teams. And let's look at the team starting with Galway. No changes here in tune to that Galway team. So Alana Griffin on goals, Sarah Lynch is captain at fullback, and further up the pitch you have Alva Davern. She's a sister in the subs. A few connections like that, and good to see Roisin Leonard back, and she does start today at number 14. And of course Lindsay Noon there from the Kilkerran-Clonberne contingent, but she's the only starting player from the All-Ireland champions. And also there's a debut there at number 9 for Kiva Cleary from Barna, a minor captain from, I think it was last year. So good to see her in there as well. Very heavy out on the pitch, though, I have to say. It'll be a tough game for everybody today. And as for Donegal, there are actually 2 changes for Donegal that have just been given. So number 6, Nicole McLaughlin, is not starting. Instead, number 21 is in. That is Sarah Doherty. And full forward Shannon McGrady, number 14, is not starting. Shannon from the Downings back, returning from injury, but unable to start today, I'm afraid. Don't know why, but she's not starting. And instead, number 18, Suzanne White, is in there from Killybegs. And she knows where the goals are. She got 2 goals against Cavan after coming on last year. It's been a long time since we've had an inter-county game. I think the last game was Antrim against Fermanagh in the All-Ireland Junior replay last August. So good to be back, even though it's a miserly, drizzly day, as I say here, and it's a heavy pitch out there, and it's already cutting up a little bit out there, so it's going to be a tough one for the girls. But I'm up in the stand here with Emer Flaherty, and Emer, good to have you with us.
Great to see you again, Jerome.
And you're a mommy now.
That's right, yeah. Change.
Fantastic, fantastic. And a girl, of course, so you'll have the boots on her in no time, probably already.
Oh, look, I'm sure, hopefully at some stage, but, there'll be no pressure on.
No pressure. I've just put pressure on. But the Galway girls out there in the middle now for this game today. How much are you looking forward to this? And then obviously, these are new look teams. A lot of young girls here, a lot of college players. And girls coming through from minor, as I say. There's a debut. There's actually 4 debuts for Donegal in the forwards. I'll go back to them in a second. But for Galway, that team today, very young but lots of potential.
Yeah, lots of potential, Jerome. Look, I'd say all of these girls on the pitch, both Donegal and Galway, we'll be looking at this year, with, I suppose, huge anticipation and excitement for what's to come. I think any of the Division 1 teams can think that they're in with a good chance for the league and obviously the championship. Obviously Meath are coming out again as winners from last year, but there's just such competition there now. It's really exciting stuff.
And looking at that Galway team, I mean, Roisin there, of course, from Currafin, sister of Tracy. That's your club as well, isn't it?
Cousin of Tracy, yeah. So
cousin of Tracy, yeah.
Tracy,
actually, do you know what? Somebody sent me that yesterday, and I looked at it twice, and I thought she's not, but they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So there's a cousin.
Cousin of Tracy, yeah. And
but good to see her back in there, at full forward, after a couple of years of troubles,
Yeah, she's just been plagued with injury on and off over the years, so great to see her back and starting the first league campaign, first game of the league.
And Leanne Cohen there from the same club as well, and they have a few, as I say, college players. Aoife Malloy, who's actually captain of UL this year, and Aoife O'Rourke from the same college. So lots of youth in there, and Charlotte Cooney at the back there. Her sister got married over Christmas.
That's
Fabian,
right,
yeah.
And as I think since we just stepped away from the panel after giving such huge service to Galway down through the years, but Charlotte has huge experience here in the back line and will be really steady for the younger girls around.
And looking at Donegal there, I mentioned 4 debuts. They're all in the forwards. Saskia Boyle at number 10 from Dunlow, 12 Leisha Ryan from St Eunan's, 15 Ciara McGarvey from Termon, and Caught Gillespie at number 13 from Rua. 4 debuts in the subs. What does that say to you?
Yeah, look, I suppose Donegal obviously have the steady reliables. I'm not listed here today, but the experienced players in
Karen Guthrie, and
Karen
Geraldine McLaughlin,
and Yvonne,
yeah.
But in the last few years, they've also had that bunch of young girls coming through, and from Execution to give a start to four young girls, like it's a big game for them, and it just shows what they have and what their expectations are from these girls.
But is it a lot at one time in the first game, or has Maxie's hand been forced a little bit there maybe?
I suppose, look, the league is just so up and down. Anything can happen on any given day. Some of the young girls step up to the plate, and there's no bother on them. Like I think now is as good a time as any if he's wanting to check it out. On with Galway. You've obviously got as you mentioned, Caoimhe Cleary, one of the minors from last year, stepping into midfield, and that's a huge game for her to start the centre of the park. And obviously, then you've got Brona Quinn, who hasn't had a lot of game time in the last few years, but is back on the panel along with Aoife O'Rourke, her first start, I would say, from my own club, and like that has got huge experience with the UL. But great to see those young girls as well getting a chance.
So you're married into Corofin,
That's
can I
right.
say that?
yeah.
But Tuam is your club.
Tuam Court is my club, yeah, married into Corofin, so...
Don't say it so wistfully, I mean, Corofin, people might be upset. No, I'm really joking. So they're lining up here, and I gather there's going to be a minute's silence as well for Mary Jo Hanley, mother of Geraldine, having the Galway secretary, who you'll know.
Pastor, yes.
Yeah. So that's what we're setting up here for at the minute, and then the anthem, and then we'll be into the first game of 2023 in the Lidl National League. So the Galway players out there, sorry, there's a couple of pillars here. This is quite an old stadium, but we're up high and we've got a good view of most of the ground, and we see the Galway girls there lining up, and there will be a minute's silence and then the anthem for this game. Referee blowing his whistle now, Seamus Malvahill from Kerry. Not sure you can see it too well on the camera, but the rain is driving from right to left. I said it's drizzly, it's probably a little bit more than that, so tough one for these girls today. Emer coming in wanting to make an impression, but those conditions are tough, and it's going to be tricky in the first half, whoever's playing from left to right, and it looks like Donegal the way I think it's going. No, the other way around maybe. And the pitch is heavy, it was out there as well, and so the toss will be important here. Tough conditions, but that's what you're going to get.
Yeah, that's what you're going to get early. What are we? January. It's just
yeah,
miserable.
It's earlier than usual actually,
yeah,
even for the league. So yeah,
it is. So look, I don't envy them, but look, once they get warmed up, they've had a good few weeks training behind them in all sorts of conditions.
You've
so,
no sympathy at all for these girls.
Oh,
You've been there, done that.
Oh, it's a nasty one to try and once they get their second win, I think they'll just dig deep and get into it.
Well, Galway are playing from left to right, so they're playing into the tricky conditions. So Donegal should make hay in the first half. I see their captain, number 4, Emer Gallagher, going up there and getting her hands to the ball right away from the throw-in. The first touch goes to her, and here she is now. She is listed at number 4, but is there at midfield. Very experienced player, of course, from Termon, and a Lidl ambassador, and appropriately she gets the first touch of the 2023 Lidl National League. We are underway here in Tuam, and it's Donegal with the ball, and they go back out to midfield to Roisin Rogers. Well, I say midfield, I'm not sure if she is midfield because Emer was there. Maybe it was her and Emer. we'll pick up those positional switches as we go on. But Tara Hegarty now has it, another of the Hegarty sisters from Moville. And the rain has got a little bit heavier, and that's a poor pass straight to the Galway player to give it away. I'm trying to pick up names as we go on here and who's where on the pitch, but we will do that over the next few minutes, and Emer will pick out any switches too. That was Roisin Leonard, number 14, definitely involved, and that's Shauna Brennan, number 7, one of 5 Clare Galway players out there, and that's Lindsay Noon, the only one from Kilkerran, Clonberne, and now it's Donegal who have sat in there. And immediately I'm looking off camera and I'm seeing so many Galway girls. You see them here now, 2, 3, 4, and not many Donegal girls around, but that, as we know, is the pattern of the game. That's the way it's played. So they go back and they go back and they go back now to Kate Geraghty from Tuam Cortoon, and she goes sideways, and all the Donegal players, I'm trying to check behind one of the pillars, not a single Donegal player beyond the ball. And Kate Geraghty again gets possession, and now they get it to Leanne Cohen, number 10, but she's kept outside that scoring zone, and then the hand comes in, and this is Donegal will try to break, and Katie Long, number 11, gives it to Rogers, one of the college players I mentioned. I think she was captain of Sligo IT. I'm not even sure if it's called Sligo IT or IT Sligo or something else anymore. Maybe it's Setu. I get confused, but we will get up to speed with that. That's Evelyn McGinley now on the ball, definitely. She's from Creasla. She's taken possession, and now it's Galway who've just filtered back. And it all means a rather tame start to the game, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's you know, you could see there Donegal not even leaving one up in their attacking side, and they have the wind early on, so very defensive from both sides. You see, I think it's Aoife O'Rourke that's in the Galway forwards, the only Galway forwards, so both sides playing very defensive early on, you know, just really running and hand passing game, which I suppose the conditions don't allow for much more, but you know, just easing themselves into it.
I think that's the best way of describing it. Get a little bit of room out there, but again, it's just a cordon around that shooting zone there, trying to keep them out. They didn't even rush out when a Donegal player had the ball, and I was thinking, Emer, that because there's so many changes that these younger girls, they mightn't be as rigid in the system, but they really are, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. You know, obviously this is the game that's been trained and practiced in their pre-season training, and you know, everyone seems to have a role and know what to do.
But then there's a mistake, and Roisin Leonard is there waiting to capitalise, and this is Alva Daverin from Moycullen. She's based in Dublin, and I've seen her play at college level a little bit, I think, and that's the girl that you mentioned all the way up there. That is number 13, Aoife O'Rourke, who's come out and got the ball. Slippy conditions. She managed to retain possession though. Cooney involved, and now Leonard again. 2 or 3 tackles there, and they just keep them out, but there might be a chance. They have got in behind. There's a goal chance right at the start. She runs into the goalkeeper. Referee puts out his arms, not for a penalty, but for the play on. But there was an accidental clash in there, and 2 players down injured, and the referee, Seamus Mulvihill, indicates that there was a bang on the head, so he holds the game up, and you see what happened there. Yep, she just ran into the keeper, an unfortunate one there, and they're both down and both in a bit of pain there early on, but that's the first real opening we have had. And I suppose, Emer, going back to the tactical thing, Donegal will say, well, it worked for us last year. We beat Dublin twice, so we're sticking with it, and no matter if they're new players or not, they're going to have to play to the system, and Maxie Curran has been there a long time.
Yeah, that's it. Look, you know, it's obviously been beneficial at times, and you know, we can see now there's actually it seems to be a change. You know, they're playing the 2 along the centre, and I suppose maybe, you know, obviously you don't want to concede an early goal in the early stages of the game, so just as a settling in period, they've obviously, you know, planned for that, and now seem to be just playing the 2 inside and 3 along the half line.
Yeah, if maybe while that injury is there, maybe our camera will go down and pick that up a little bit. If it swings down to the left, I don't think we're going to miss any action anyway, because they have to hold it up. But yeah, our camera's coming down there, and you'll see what Emer Flaherty was saying there up on the, well, that's the management down on the side. But if we just go up a little bit, we'll see where the amount of Galway players are up there. There's only 1, 2, but at least they are up there. Or Donegal players rather, 1 or 2, but they filter back just almost naturally now. Or do you think that the managers just drill it into them all of the time?
I suppose, you know, the way it is, you nearly need to set your marker with the game plan that you're going to play from the off, and especially now, you know, with the game's coming quick and fast. You nearly need to have your plan prepped and stick to that game plan early days. You know, with the way the league is laid out now, back to your standard 8 teams, there's just no room for adjusting it throughout the league, maybe, unless you need to tweak things here and there.
Back in the day, you used to be excited when somebody got switched in before the game and you thought, oh, that makes a big difference. Now it doesn't matter. Like if a corner forward is in, because a corner forward doesn't really mean much at all now. Glad to say the players who got injured there are able to continue and the game is underway again. And I noticed Roisin Leonard there holding on to her player way over in that far corner, so that's part of the tactics as well. They're not letting Donegal get the short kickouts, or at least they're trying not to. Seamus Mulvihill is going to have this one between the two number 9s. That's Caoimhe Cleary, the new girl, as you call her, sorry, Caoimhe Cleary. I have to get used to that. I'm not in the north anymore. Caoimhe Cleary. This is Niamh Carr, number 2. Number 5, by the way, is Amy Boyle Carr. So there are 2 cars down that side. I can't wait till they combine and I talk about overtaking and getting in the gear. A couple of cars down that. You don't have to laugh at my jokes, they're bad. They're really
very
bad.
Good, Joe.
But it's, Amy Boyle Carr, ABC down that side. But they've come back out again. They're in reverse gear. They've had to come all the way back. And this is Rogers. And they're so calm about popping the ball around. They don't panic. And it's Tara Haggerty, just as she turned there, I thought, oh, is that one of the Haggerty sisters? One of the older sisters. She just looks so much like her sisters. Free for Galway. Now, of course, the other part of the game now is that when you get the ball, you want to transition really, really quickly. But already, Donegal have lots of players back. I'm looking off camera, and we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 already inside their 45, and another 5 or 6 filtering back. But let's be positive. It's good to be out here. I don't mean to be negative. I mean, it's just the way the game's played now, especially at this level, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a game of patience. You know, who will, I suppose, have a tweak first, or who will falter.
Yeah, it comes down to a mistake, doesn't it? Or someone just getting in behind, which they nearly did. But it means that after 7.5 minutes, it's 0-0.
It does.
Now coming forward is Cooney. And Solo went ahead of her there, but actually worked for her in the end because the challenge came in and she got the free, which looks like being taken by Leanne Cohen. And actually Roisin Leonard is coming out to say, no, I'll take these. Do you remember me? I've been around. Remember I used to take all these and put them over. I think she fancies that from there, and she does love hitting them off the ground. I mean, I saw one, I was looking through a video last night from 2016, and she hit a beautiful one from angle like this, and the trajectory was really low and it just dropped over the bar.
Oh, there's not many that can do it, but she definitely has it in her.
Oh
wow, such a score. Oh, sugar. Did it come out? Oh,
no,
sorry,
no, it was behind.
Yeah, great.
Usually when I build up things like that, they don't work, but she delivered there. That was beautiful.
No, that one, I thought now it was against the wind there, but you know, she's, like I said, there's not many that can do it, but she's definitely.
Well, that's the way to beat this sort of defence, isn't it? Punish them with efforts like that. So they'll be wary about giving away frees out there in future. Now, Emer Gallagher for Donegal, captain today, wearing 4, but playing around the middle of the field, trying to bring the ball forward. Termon, of course, and this is the venue, by the way, where Termon won their All-Ireland senior club title. I think it was way back. Would it have been 2014? Was it that far back?
Could possibly, yeah.
It was, yeah.
Mornaby,
yeah. Charlie McLaughlin got a couple of goals, as she does, out of nothing. Now there's the number 20 that I mentioned, who's in from the start for Donegal. That's Katie Dowds, actually, for Donegal, is in there. I didn't mention that one. I'll come back to that in a second. Let's go back to the play, because Suzanne White, number 18, involved, and Amy Boyle Carr, and now the number 20, and that's blocked down, I think, by Cooney, is it? And Kate Garrity, but they've given it straight back to Donegal. Oh, it's good tackling in there. Emily Gavin, very quick to get in there. Good defending. You'd appreciate that.
Yeah, it was a great boot in. And another girl who's back last year with Galway and has you know, doing really well in that cornerback position.
Yeah, well, she certainly nipped in there to nip that in the bud. I think I noticed another switch there for Donegal. We were given 2 before the game, but number 20 is out there. That's Katie Dowds from Sean McCool's. Not sure what number isn't out there, or maybe it was maybe I was given the wrong number for coming in. Anyway, I'll keep tabs on that as we go on, but she's definitely out there. This is Alva Davran, and we'll see the number 8 for Galway. I nearly expect to say Louise Ward, but she's not out there today. That's a good effort, but it's going to the left. It's still in, still a chance, but Brennan unable to to profit from that as the ball came in. She maybe misjudged the drop. This is Shelley Tuig from the Convoy Club. Gives it back to Aoife McColgan. Under pressure there, but kept cool. And she would do. She's been around now 5 or 6 years. And a very steady goalkeeper and a good shot stopper. All the way from Malin up there in Inishowen. And now it's Amy Boyle-Carr, and she does love to speed down the wing from Niamh Connell. Also plays for Sligo Rovers. She says the 2 seasons don't end. I think the ladies soccer season ended around October or so. That's a lovely ball out to the right hand side, and there's a chance here, and the high tackle goes in, and indeed the free is given by Seamus Mulvihill, and you would imagine this will be the first score of the game, and we haven't had a score yet from play, and I think that will continue to be the case. But it's that high crossfield diagonal ball sometimes that causes a lot of problems for the blanket defence.
Yeah, that was a good ball across, and just like that, the Galway players had been pulled over. I suppose the opposite side, you had Leanne Cohen in a similar position, but just tailed wider, didn't go in. But that's a good score for Donegal.
The ball like that though has to be accurate, and it's difficult in conditions like this. The rain seems to have eased a little bit, but it's tricky to do it. Maybe it'll open up a little bit and we'll get a few more goal incidents as it goes on. But at the moment it's a cagey start to the 23 Lidl National League. 1 point each, both from frees. But both teams giving it everything. There's a mistake given to Amy Boyle-Carr to ABC. As easy as that. And that's Alicia Ryan now on her debut. And that's going to be a free for Galway. Ran into Lindsay Noon. And that's what I'm talking about. When you get the free, you got to move it quick. And that's what they're doing, moving it out sideways. But then you need the support, but they're forced to come back out because the support hasn't got up, and that's really tricky to do in these conditions. It's going to be a tough afternoon. Galway playing into the wind, into whatever rain is out there, and the ground is tough as well, so we really can't expect them to be going forward at speed. Now the referee has spotted something there. Maybe it was off the ball, was it, Emer?
Yeah, I didn't spot he's signalling that it was a push, I think.
Well, somebody went to ground there.
Someone did go to ground. That was a Donegal player
maybe
that went to ground,
sort of
but I think it was just before that. Yeah, possibly.
Now, why is Roisin not coming out to take this? Because this was in the exact same spot, or actually I think it's getting a little bit easier, but instead it's Aoife O'Rourke going to take it on her left foot, which is a fairly good angle, and she's going to come in a little bit and try and curl this in. And it's going to drop nicely over the bar. That's why Roisin didn't come out. She didn't need to. Maybe Roisin, that's right, now I remember. She takes ones a little bit further out, doesn't she?
Yeah, it seems to be. I suppose Aoife just reckoned that was in her range. Roisin was probably just that little bit further out, but a great score by Aoife O'Rourke.
And 2 points to 1. Aoife McColgan goes long, and that's a great kick out, and there's a foul there and a free given immediately. But is there an advantage? Not really, because Galway have managed to get players back, and Shelley Tuig is having to go back and take the free herself now to get moving. I have to stress again, it really is tough out there for them. I walked around before the game, never mind running up and down. You can't expect them to have bundles of energy in the first game of the league and all to be up to speed and up to fitness exactly. This is Saskia Boyle on her debut. She's from Dunlow, and last year she was at ATU Donegal, one of the college players I mentioned. She might still be there actually. It's out to Niamh Connell from Milford, and this is Emer Gallagher, and she's got the head up immediately, and she always likes to inject a little bit of pace, but she'll want to keep possession here. But she is looking to see where can I bring this ball to, and who's going to take it off me. 4 debuts in the Donegal forwards. What have they got? What have they got to show? They've 1 point already, but only from a free. Now they have a 45, and it's easy to say that you miss the Geraldine McLaughlins, and of course you're going to miss them, but this is a chance for these girls to step up today. And you could see Emer Gallagher there almost saying, like, who's going to take it off me? Yeah,
that's it. She, was really controlling around the middle there, as well as Roisin Rogers getting on a lot of ball and just calling players to her. But Donegal did, make a good penetrated forward there well, but just a block that came off the last final shot.
I know you mightn't have sympathy down your career for forwards, but in the modern game, if you get the ball in the forwards, you're usually getting 2-3 players around you. It's not a one-on-one anymore.
Oh, so no, you would, yeah, you'd have to have sympathy for that. But no, the defensive style just doesn't, bode well for having time to think and to take it on.
I mean, I watched last night the 2016 game, Donegal and Galway, and it was 4-11,
Contrast.
3-15,
Yeah,
and it was so open.
Oh, you'd love the high-scoring game again, but no, it doesn't look like that'll be the case today.
Well, last year when these two teams played in the league, it was Donegal 0-10, Galway 0-7.
Okay.
We might be heading that way again.
Yeah, I think so. Summer football, Jerome, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see it then.
I don't know. Gallagher gives it wide to Boyle, who pops up on the right now. And you see Shelley Tuig out here waiting for it from Gallagher, and also the number 2, Niamh Carr. And look, she's going sideways, and she's saying, okay, you do the run, a la Vicky Wall, diagonally going forward, but it doesn't quite work out that way. Seemingly sideways,
Yeah.
or even backwards.
You're trying to get a run off the shoulder then to create, I suppose, that chance to get forward, but no, there isn't. They're not coming
But
very
as I
often
say,
here.
unless you're a Vicky Wall or the conditions are tough, it's really hard to do that. And this
Well defended.
is Roisin Rogers, and she's gone down a cul-de-sac there, and she's struggling and wrestling to keep possession, and she does get a free. But I mean, look at the clock, 16, nearly 17 minutes gone. We haven't scored from play.
That's right, yeah.
We haven't had a goal incident, not really.
No, we haven't had many shots. No wides.
But that's the conundrum. That's what they have to try and break through. And maybe as the game goes on, things will open up and we'll get a little bit more action around there. It's like a game of chess these days. Galway 2 points, Donegal 1. And that's good defending. We have to applaud the defending. That was good work. It was actually the corner back, Brona Quinn from Annadown. That was good work by her.
Yeah, real tigerish, getting a hand in there. It's what you'd love to see in the back line.
Now there's a bit of room in behind here for Alva Davaran. Immediately the space is eaten up, but they are moving it nicely here and trying to get through the wall of yellow jerseys, and that's good forceful play by Charlotte Cooney, and there's advantage being given here for Galway. There was a foul, but the referee is letting it go on because they have the ball, and Shauna Brennan is looking up, but look at the disciplined defending there from Donegal. They're not diving in, they're not giving it away, there's no need. They're just holding them up out there. Everybody knows their place, and this is Davaran again. Driving down the right, but she realizes that that's a bit of a cul-de-sac. And everywhere they go, there's 3 players up against her, and she's forced to overcarry. So Donegal's system working extremely well. We go back to the goalkeeper. McColgan will try and switch the play, but Roisin Leonard spots that and nearly nips in there. But the problem for the likes of Roisin here, Emer, is that because there's so many players back, she's sort of got to cover that entire full forward line on her own at times.
Yeah, and you can also see her dropping back as well as the others. So it's a role that she probably wouldn't be as used to. Usually she's the pinnacle inside, left in, hoping for maybe a quick ball in. But you know, everyone is doing their job on the defensive side of things.
Yeah, and Galway doing their pressure now, and they are pressuring Dowds, and did they get it? No, they haven't. It's a free for Donegal. She was in trouble there. She looked up and realised she had no support for a change, but she got her free, and Emer Gallagher will take it. And she's looking up and says, there's no options there. I might have to go back. Yeah, she is going to go back. It goes back to Tara Hegarty. Now this girl's been everywhere, Saskia Boyle, hasn't she? She's really busy. Always making herself available on the right and left, and it's Niamh Carr going over the shoulder, but they have to go back to Evelyn McGinley. And you wonder if the conditions will have a part if there is a slip or something near goals, because the way this game's going, if that happens and there's a goal, it'll be crucial. No goals in the game between them last year, 10 points to 7, although before that in 2021 it was 4-21 to 2-11, but that was the year they played league football in the summer. Now here's a chance for Dowds, and that is the first score of the game from play, or rather Suzanne White it was Suzanne White for Donegal from Killybegs, and she got the first point. Dowds is wearing 20, Suzanne White wearing number 18, and after 20 minutes we welcome that.
Yeah, Katie Dowds did very well there. You know, just brought it in and laid it off to Suzanne White in the end. But you know, she's a very slight player, but seems to just weave her way in and got through the Galway defence.
And that's White again on the ball now. She's got her free and she looks like she fancies this, and it would put Donegal into the lead for the first time. And she has a bit of a win behind her, so she fancies this one. Number 18, Suzanne White, Killybegs, just outside the D, on the edge of the D, might be to the left. Has she got it? She has got it, and it's 3 points to 2 for Donegal. They've turned this around from 2-1 down, though I have to say again, they have the win behind them, so they would expect to be ahead at half time. Players all now marking areas, zonal marking they call it, but an accurate kick out goes to Charlotte Cooney from the goalkeeper Alana Griffin. So Galway have vital possession. But the trick now these days is not to run into 4 or 5 players and lose possession. She hasn't done that. They've got it to Shauna Brennan, Ireland soccer player, by the way. Galway today. This is good work by Lindsay Noon, the number 15, and the All-Ireland champions. They come back out to Cleary. Come cross field to Kate Geraghty. But no matter where they are, there's just a wall of yellow. So they come back and they are patient. Now Cooney comes up to try and inject a little bit of pace and see if they can find a way through, but she spins and comes back to where it came from. Daverin. Leonard is looking for it now. She's come out. Careful passing as it has to be in these conditions. Patience is the word. Brennan. There's no way through there. Cleary fancies it, she points, but it just drags a few players out of position, but they're so disciplined, Donegal, that they keep their shape. And that's Geraghty again. Now Leanne Cohen has it. She's right down in the corner. I do have sympathy for forwards in this game because you get into positions, but very often it's not near the scoring zone and you just have to recycle the ball. Another of the buzzwords these days. Brennan. She goes left, and is that a mistake? No. Carr unable to nip in there. And look at how disciplined it is there. You've got to admire it, Emer, don't you, in a way?
Oh, you would, yeah.
They keep their shape so well.
Yeah, and the concentration, to just keep following it. But, it's just a game of patience. Like you said, a game of chess, trying to find that weak part of the defence to get through.
But I'm counting 14 players back there, including the goalkeeper. 14. I mean, where do you find a way through there? I can see now how Dublin had so many troubles and lost twice to Donegal last year. Now here's a little bit of room. She goes for a shot, Daverin, and gets it over the bar as well. That's how you do it, I guess. You get it to the shooter, and the girl from Moy Cullen puts it over perfectly. 3 points each.
Yeah, nice score. Yeah, it was a great, well-taken score there by Alan Daverin. But, Donegal will be disappointed with that, having so many bodies along back. I suppose you're going to leak a score here and there, but against the wind, you really want to keep it down.
As you said, key word, concentration.
Yeah.
You've got to keep your shape, and that must be tricky in itself. But Donegal now, after getting the lead, they have lost it. Oh, lovely little turn by Rogers. Gives it to Katie Dowds, and Katie is fouled, gets her free again. And yeah, she's been busy, hasn't she? And a lot of these young girls, the debuts, have done quite well for them. And considering, as I say, they're usually double marked.
Yeah, that's it. There's really, everyone's, getting up and down the pitch there. It's a huge task, really energy zapping in these conditions.
That's given straight away. That's Tuig. You saw what she was trying to do, but instead she's given it to Shauna Brennan. Running through the middle is Kate Slevin. I haven't mentioned her yet, but she's nipping in behind there, and she's got it now. It is Slevin, the Ireland soccer player. Off the bar and over. It hit the red spot. She got her point. Could have been a goal. You knew it was on there because for once Donegal were caught out of position, but the Ireland underage soccer player didn't find the net. She got a point though, and it's 4 points to 3.
Yeah, you can really feel excitement from the crowd that there was finally a break. And
maybe you heard it in my voice. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so that kind of mistake hasn't happened often, but a free given away, you just catch the defence off guard, and it's a chance.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier on, that it will be a mistake. Now the rain's picked up a little bit, and Donegal now have the ball, and they have the rain on their backs and a bit of wind as well. And this is Amy Boyle-Carr over on that right-hand side now. She was over on the left earlier. And the way it's gone and the way the game is now, I haven't mentioned Cod Gillespie, number 13, but she is up there in the full forward line. But it's so difficult for the forwards because you just don't get much clean possession going forward. And she's been well marked in there by the fullback and captain of Galway, Sarah Lynch. But she only will get the odd ball the way this game has been played. But White has it now, and she goes back. Every free seems to go back, although the last one they nearly got severely punished for going back. This is Niamh Carr. And she's well tackled, and that is robbery. Leanne Cohen doing extremely well to dispossess her. Goes inside, and Leonard is there, and this is where they can transition quickly, and they do have support here, and the players off the shoulder. They've moved it nice and quickly. This is really good. This is Cohen from Corofin, but now she's run out of ideas. Who have I got up with me? She's the most forward player and gives it back to Leonard. She drops the shoulder. She fancies it, but doesn't connect properly, and that will fall nicely for the girl who's been everywhere in the first half, Saskia Boyle. And it's her debut as well, and she's been impressive, and here she is again, and they now try to filter it through the hands, and they get it as far as Amy Boyle-Carr, but she will have to do it all her own here, and she's capable of doing that. Suzanne White is there though, and she comes over, but dispossessed there, or rather the ball slips through her grasp and goes to Lynch. And it's Galway's chance. Do I sense it's opening up a little bit?
Yeah, you can kind of get that feel. I suppose that turnover there the last time, you would imagine if there had been a Galway person inside, you know, to give a chance to let a quick one in. But you know, Donegal are leaving the two players up here.
Oh, Brennan just got caught for over carrying there. She was forward for the goal chance as well, and she's getting forward a lot and on that left foot, running diagonally a lot, but she just got caught in two minds there. I thought she was going to shoot, but she just over carried.
Yeah, another girl who's relatively new, has been in around the Galway panel, but just not much game time. So, you know, lots of girls here are really, you know, no one looks out of place or seems to be struggling. You've got lots of, I'd say, competition for places from both sides for the coming few weeks.
Yeah, well, I think it was Maxie Curran said in an interview that, you know, the girls in the panel are fighting tooth and nail because they know it's so hard to get a place in the panel, and this is the time of year if you're going to make an impression. Okay, conditions are difficult, but you've got to turn it on days like this.
Yeah, that's it, and you can see in both sides. Obviously, the experienced players from Donegal are enlisted, and then you've got the Clonberne contingent that have yet to come back, bar Lindsay Noon and Chloe Miskell, so there's a few to be added into that. So that's going to be more competition for the Galway girls, which is obviously great for Galway, but you know, it's going to be tough on some to lose out.
Absolutely. Coming up to half time, last 2 minutes off the half. It's 4 points to 3 for Galway. Big crowd in the stand here in Tuam Stadium enjoying this game, obviously mainly from Galway. Home team here. Donegal have their first home game next week, and it's against Meath. I'm delighted to say we will be streaming that game as well. I think it's in Letterkenny, St Eunan's, I would imagine, next week. We look forward to that meeting. Of course, they had a couple of big meetings last year, and Donegal were in the final of the league last year. Now there's a ball given away by Niamh Carr, and that's happened a couple of times now, and Galway move the ball quickly and get it to Aoife O'Rourke from the UL O'Connor Cup panel, and she looks for Noon. No, she doesn't. She goes herself and instead slips it inside to Leonard, and this is good. They are working the ball well. This is exactly what you need to do, and Cohen might get a score. It's just gone to the left, but you see what I mean, Emer, when they get the ball and they finally get possession, they do try to move it quickly, and that's what you got to do.
Yeah, just move through the hands quickly. You know, you could see Alva Darwin trying to, you know, bolt her way forward there. Leanne Cohen off her shoulder, just unfortunate to tail wide. I suppose when you do get the opportunities then to get a shot,
but the opportunities are coming a little bit more frequent,
aren't they? A little bit more frequent, yeah. I suppose 29 minutes gone. We'd hope to see a few. I'm not sure the wide count still. You're on low numbers, but yeah, things may open up again in the second half.
Niamh Carr in possession, goes back to Gallagher, but Gallagher and Carr weren't on the same wavelength there. There's a chance here for Aoife O'Rourke. She has possession and she is fouled, and the referee indicates the challenge over the top, and that's a free in. And the question is now, who's going to take this one? Is it Roisin Leonard, or Who was it last time? Was it Leon Cohen? No.
Aoife O'Rourke took the last
Aoife
one.
O'Rourke
Yeah,
was,
so it
yeah.
seems to
Yeah, she's
be
got it,
she's
yeah.
going to take it again.
Yeah, it's just gone quite well for them the last few minutes, Galway, for whatever reason. I mean, obviously Donegal have given it away a couple of times around the middle of the field, but it hasn't happened at the other end. I mean, Donegal really haven't had a look in.
No, they haven't. Yeah, it's that missed passes there that were across the pitch. One from free earlier that led to the break, and just that missed pass earlier. That's what I suppose where Galway got their chances from. So, really, Donegal should be right up there, but Galway haven't made that kind of mistakes which caused turnover.
Substitution for Donegal, number 22, Jodie McFadden is in as Aoife O'Rourke lines this one up, and she got the first one, she's got the second one, and Galway open up a 2-point lead for the first time in the game, and Donegal making a change right at the end of the half. I don't know if it was an injury or not. She looks like she's moving a little bit tentatively and throwing her leg as if to say, yeah, I have a bit of an issue there. So a substitution for Galway, or for Donegal, right at the end. Jodie McFadden from Termon, another of the Termon contingent. And I'm trying to see what number it is. Is it 4, I think? No, it's not 4, of course, that's Emer Gallagher. Can't see the number just from here. Is it 3?
Not 3, no. My side is
2.
There we go.
Or is it 20?
Yeah,
21? No, it is 2. Yeah, it's Niamh Carr who's come off. Well, no more overtaking, Joe. Carr has been sidelined. Is that the word?
Yeah, it seems to be.
What's the word for when they come to rescue you? No, okay, I'll stop all that. I'll just drop all the car jokes. Okay, 5 points to 3 for Galway, and the 33rd minute of the first half, and Galway have done it again. They have sort of got the measure of this game now, haven't they? And this is Noon, and she is penalised there. I never quite know what way those are going to go. I always have to look at the referee. You see it again.
Draw.
And that's going to be Saskia Boyle again with possession at the end of the half. But yeah, 5 points to 3, and Donegal have played with whatever advantage there are in the conditions and haven't capitalised. And that is half time. 5 points to 3. Home team will be happy. Galway people will be happy, Emer, but from a Donegal point of view, they didn't really show a lot in that first half. Do you think that was down to the debuts, the new team, or was it just that Galway were very disciplined and sitting in there?
Yeah, like you couldn't really say the debuts, were at fault in any way. I think it just came down to the mistakes that made. Galway capitalised on the missed passes that Donegal gave, maybe crossfield, and another one just in the back line. Galway did show, I suppose, that little bit of patience, and they, failed to I suppose, make their mistakes. So that's really all that's in it. Otherwise, I think Donegal did put, was it 2 frees and 1 from play from Suzanne White. She's been shown well inside, and they did have that little bit of wind advantage, but I wouldn't be writing them off in any way at all. It's really anyone's game here.
Oh yeah, there's only 2 points in it, but what I'm saying is, I guess Galway at times seem to break and they seem to let the ball go, whereas Donegal didn't really put it in that much. They seem to go sideways a lot. Yeah,
they did. I think I can't even remember any ball that was given in directly, obviously, or that was given. I don't know. I suppose they just didn't allow for any quick move, I suppose. But
it's the percentage game they play now, isn't it?
It is.
It makes sure.
It is.
But, at some stage you got to open up, and maybe they'll open up in the second half.
Yeah, maybe they will.
Maybe they will. It's 5 points to 3. It's heading the same way as last year's league game between these teams, which was also the first game, and it was not 10 to not 7. Well, it's not 5 to not 3. We'll be back with the second half in about 5 or 6 minutes' time. Welcome back for the second half. Galway are making their way out onto the field, and I spot one change, number 22 in the black tights, and that is Megan Glynn. Good to see her back after a couple of years. Smashing player, and I remember seeing her playing for college with NUIG and Galway. Super player around the half forward line. She'll certainly inject a bit of pace. And Donegal, I was out in the pitch at half time. I'm nearly sure I heard them calling two girls to go into the dressing room, and one of them was Catherine Boyle, actually, who I don't see in the subs there, so maybe I heard that name wrong. Where did I get that one from? I'm not quite sure, but they definitely brought two players into the dressing room. They're not back out yet, so I can't confirm that. But we're looking forward, and we're still optimistic. It's early season optimism, Emer Flaherty. We're still expecting and hoping for a big, exciting second half.
Oh yeah, look, like you said, great to see Megan Glynn back on the team. I think it's young Caoimhe Cleary that's made away, but she has had great time, great years playing in Galway jersey, so she'll add a lot to this team. But really excited for the second half, Jerome. I think we'll have a plethora of scores here.
No, steady. I was out there as well, as I say, and the rain's actually quite nasty when you're out there, and Galway will have it on their backs in the second half, so they'll have whatever advantage is there. Donegal not out just yet. Remember, they were in the final last year, and I was just thinking there as well, on the sideline last year in Croke Park, they'd Mark McHugh with them, and he's not there now, it seems. Okay. Certainly not today, but Maxie has his brother in there, Brian Curran, and Paddy Tobin, and Nadine Friel, Paddy Kelly and Paul Fisher, whereas Galway, well, they were in interim management this time last year. They're still there. Yeah. And that's Magnus Brannock and Fiona Wynne.
Yeah, and they've also got Joanna Connolly in the backroom team this year. Joanna spent years playing for Galway, and right between the posts there, so she will add an awful lot and a lot of experience to the girls. So great lineup there for Galway, along with Evan Talty, I think.
Yeah, he's in there too, yeah.
New recruit this year.
I noticed last year when we were here, it was Galway Mayo, and they brought out the Kilkerran Clonbyrne girls at half time, and they celebrated their All-Ireland success, and of course they've gone and done it again. That's why a lot of those girls aren't here, the Divillies and most of the Noons, but one of them is here, and Chloe Miskell in the subs as well. I imagine she'll get a run on the second half, but Galway not hanging about, keeping warm in the middle of the field there, as you can see, because Donegal have not come out. Now, Seamus Mulvihill, the ref, has been blowing his whistle. He sent one of his men in, and he's coming out now, but no sign of Donegal just yet. They are taking their time, and I don't really blame them. They're maybe trying to heat up. Not that it's terribly cold today, but just a bit miserable here, and they're up against it at half time. But this is the start of the league. Later on, Meath against Dublin at 5:15 live on TG Cahir, and then a whole lot of games tomorrow. Donegal coming out now. We'll check the numbers, and certainly Suzanne White, first player out, played in the first half, played well, followed by Shelley Tuig, number 8, and the 22 is out there. That's Jodie McFadden, who came on right at the end of the half, and now you see Shannon McGrody is out there, so she was listed to start, coming back into the team after a spell out from the Downings. She didn't start, but she's out there now, so number 14 is a substitute for Donegal, so she goes in there. Ciara McGarvey, 15, is out there on her debut. And looking around, do you see anything else, Emer?
No, that seems to be, I think, the changes for Donegal. Yeah, Leisha Ryan has made away there, the young player that had a good first half. So
and it's Galway on the attack right away with Lindsay Noon. She drops the shoulder, goes inside here with a little bit of intent about her that we didn't see so much in the first half, but maybe that's because the teams haven't got set up just yet, and that kick has gone to the right and wide. And I noticed there one of the players of the first half, Saskia Boyle at number 10 for Donegal, was right up in the goal area, but as I say, that's maybe just because they line out like a 1-15, but she's now going to filter back to, well, what is her position? She's all over the field, isn't she? She's a link player, we'll say. So Donegal get possession from the kick out from McColgan. Serious pressure applied though, and it's a turnover for Galway. They'll be delighted with that. That's one of those buzzwords to get these days. And you get a cheer now for a turnover.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I suppose kickouts are going to be a big thing now against that wind in the second half for Aoife McColgan. She did get the kick out off, but just an overcarry there that.
Leonard tries to give this everything in the wind, but McCall comes out and then a palm onto the bar and the referee blows. I think was it Leonard got in there? Somebody certainly got in there and was quite enterprising. They saw that ball dropping short. Moment of danger there, and that's the second time they've hit the bar in the game. One time it went over, and as you see, that one hit the bar, but a free was given. And it was interesting, Roisin Leonard didn't hit it off the ground. She tried to let the wind drop it in.
Let it take it, but it, I suppose unlike her, it just seemed to got more height on it than distance.
Yeah, she might have been better, and scores at a premium, so that could come back to haunt them a little bit. We'll see what Donegal are made of in the second half, won't we? Because they've really got to dig it out here against the wind and the rain.
Yeah, they do, and they have to, watch those mistakes, the overcarry and the, I suppose, hand passes given away.
I was going to say that was good work by Saskia Boyle, but then she almost gave it away as well. It was intercepted, but she did well to keep possession in there in the first place. But Galway have started the second half with certainly a fair amount of intent, haven't they? They've lifted it.
Yeah, they seem to have, and you can see, I'd say you might not have it as defensive maybe in the next half. They just seem to be holding forward there a little bit more.
You're saying that without any great conviction.
No, I'm a bit iffy about it, but I'm hoping for something.
The eternal optimist.
Yeah.
So it's intriguing. That's the word I always use when you get tactical battles like this. And there's Megan Glynn coming in. She's only into the play. She's back in the Galway colours. That's her in the number 22 in the black tights, and she's on the ball again. And was she penalised in some way there? It's a free out for Donegal. Crowd just lifted a bit there. As soon as you get a turnover, they think there's a chance of a score, but there has been a threat when they do that, though, and they've got a couple of points off it. And if they get a goal from that, that would obviously be crucial, because there hasn't been a goal between these two teams today or in the last time they met this time last year. You have to go back to Tuam in 2021, and that was a game played in June, when the ground was firmer.
I suppose Galway haven't got any score there, but Donegal have made just a few mistakes there again. Let's say the miss hand passes, spilling it a little bit.
Or is it Galway nipping in like that?
Well, like that, there is huge pressure being put on, so it's a mixture of both, but they're just finding it difficult to get it past just to, I suppose, create anything up front here.
Well, that was Emily Gavin who nipped in that time, the number 4 from Clare Galway, one of 5 Clare Galway players listed to start for Galway, so it's a third of the team from Clare Galway. That's good work by Jodie McFadden, and now Boyle. She's
great.
I thought that was going to actually go a little bit wide, and it came in beautifully. Maybe it was the wind, or maybe she knew exactly what she's doing, but she's been one of the players of the game for me. On her debut, Saskia Boyle from Dunlow, and she has scored a great point for Donegal. 5-4, they're right back in it.
Yeah, I suppose, like we said, that's an excellent move from Donegal. I'd say it's the second score from play, but really well moved there, and Saskia Boyd has been really super for her first day out with the Donegal seniors.
And that's the first score of the second half after 4 minutes. Galway now, after their bright start, have been knocked back a little bit, but they are undeterred. They come forward with Shauna Brennan, who has been very good as well in this game, and Noon, and just injects a little bit of urgency when she gets the ball there, you can tell, but unable to get through, leaves the ball off instead. And now Roisin Leonard, there's room for her, and she will take advantage of that. You can't leave her, and that's why, and she's been very good today. It's great to see the Galway girl back in the Galway colours, and you cannot give her room at all, because she is deadly and she is classy, and whether it's from a free off the ground or from play, she is quality.
That's an excellent score, yeah. Trademark Roisin score, but something we haven't seen, I suppose, an awful lot off with her injuries. But I was going to say, look, Donegal will have to watch it with that wind in the second half. That Roisin, if she's her shooting boots on, will punish them. But that was an opportunity there, and she took it so well.
Katie Dowds, number 20, doing well to get possession, gives it to White. They've linked up quite a few times. Evelyn McGinley coming forward now. 3 in her back, but getting into the opposite half. This is McFadden now, and she's fouled, so a free for Donegal, and the referee not happy with that challenge and laying down the law and making it clear what the offence was. Suzanne White with it now, and I suppose Emer and the referee taking a note there actually, so definitely wasn't happy with that. They don't have a Roisin Leonard, and they don't have a Aoife Rourke, it seems, to hit a ball over from that sort of distance, and that was crucial in the first half because it kind of set Galway on their way when Roisin was able to do that.
It did. It guaranteed, I suppose, you know, that score, you know, and with only 1-2 between them at the moment, you need to have a shooter.
I thought she was maybe going to prove me wrong there, but that dropped short, and Galway will defend that rather easily. And now they will try and break, and Lindsay Noon says, give it to me. She's got a little bit of room for once, and she gets support from Brennan, who just loves to come forward. And a lovely ball as well from her on her left foot, down into the left corner, but it's not going to stick. And who's back there? Of course, it's Boyle for Donegal. She goes back to her goalkeeper, and Leonard looking to nip in there. And Donegal have given a few balls away today and nearly gave another one there, but instead the goalkeeper, Aoife McColgan, a cool customer, she always is, and she remained calm there, and they have possession, and now it's their turn to attack. So 2 scores from play at the start of the second half, and the game definitely has opened up. It's not as cagey it was at the start of the game, but Galway have got their players back, and Donegal forced to come out and recycle. It's 2 points in it, 6 points to 4. You've got to say it keeps your attention, even though there's not loads of goal incident and there's not lots of dangerous balls being put into that sort of area. Emer Gallagher switching the play. I'd say they've been told to just lift it a little bit, move the ball a little bit quicker. And they come back again to Gallagher now, though, faced up by Megan Lynch. She'll try left. She tried the right a minute ago. She'll try the left side this time and see if they can find just a little bit of room in there. The same way Leonard was able to do at the other end, but it just shows you the value, doesn't it, Emer, of a shooter like that, because she just saw a little pocket of space and was able to put it over, and I don't see that yet from Donegal.
Yeah, that's the thing, I suppose, when you're playing this defensive game, there, you know, a lot of girls, you can train the defending, you can train the tackling so well, but it's not everyone that you have that's going to have a natural strike of ball, a natural kicker.
Well, obviously, you're Yvonne Bonner,
yeah,
Yvonne Bonner and Glenn from Glenfin, and Karen Guthrie and those sort of girls.
Of course, and they're going to be there ready to come back into the setup when all these girls get that bit of experience.
Great pass from Brennan. She adapted there. She's kicked everything on the left side, but kicked that on her right, and it nearly dropped in and nearly created a goal chance there. But instead, Galway are having to come back out. And there's a chance from distance. She's gone for it. As she got it over. Oh, it's come off the post. They've hit the bar twice, and now the post, and Evelyn McGinley got there first. A little bit unlucky there for Galway. Nearly went 3 points up, and the referee has penalised Roisin Leonard and has written her name into the book as well. That's the second in a couple of minutes. Not that it's been a dirty game by any means, it's just difficult conditions, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, that was a good shot by Alba Deverin. She got one in the first half, and that just came off the post, but I'd say yeah, name taken there. You don't want to see numbers going down in this kind of game.
Good work there by Lindsay Noon. She wanted advantage, but the referee had already given her the free, but good tenacious play from her to get in there. And there's been a few examples in this game where players have been just waiting for the ball, and you just can't do that, especially in these conditions, and you get penalised.
Yeah, I'd say there could be changes now maybe coming along for Galway as well.
And Roisin Leonard, right-footed, perfect for her on that side, you would imagine, but she's put it to the right and it's skied again. That's a bit similar to the one a few minutes ago, and I was expecting that to go over, or certainly go towards the goal.
Yeah, I suppose, you know, there was definitely ones that she took that were more difficult, but just tailed off and got maybe a bit too much height on that one too.
Well, there's 2 points in it. We haven't had a 3-point gap, but they've had a couple of chances there, Galway, to extend that, but Donegal still very much in the game because of that. Working it through the hands now as far as Gallagher. Can they get moving a little bit? What can the 4 debutantes and the forwards provide for Donegal? 2 points down in Tuam at the start of the league, and she gets a free. But she just maybe overran it there, or ran into trouble, but There was a foul, and it's a free for Donegal, but they are being kept out by that resolute Galway defence, and really they haven't had a sniff near goal at all, Donegal, and it's getting tougher and tougher in the second half. And I see now that Eva Walsh, the number 27 for Donegal, has been called, and she will be introduced in the next minute or two. But for now, it's a free just outside the D, and as I say, this is where Galway were able to profit in the first half with Roisin Leonard, not in the second so far from frees from this sort of distance, but they could really do with this one. She goes into the D and puts it over, and that's their second point of the half, gets it back to a 1 point game, as Galway also send in a substitute. They are sending in, I did predict this, not that it's an amazing prediction, but Chloe Miskell from Karen Clonbyrne is coming into the play for Roisin Leonard. And do you think Roisin maybe tiring a little bit?
Oh, I like that. Yeah, look, she. It's great to see her back. Roisin, I suppose, this kind of heavy game, it probably is best to make sure that she's getting game time in, but probably not going to be fit for a full game just now.
Goalkeeper Alana Griffin goes high up the middle, doesn't bother with the short one, and maybe that's a good idea in these conditions, but Donegal have scrapped for it, and they have won the ball. And at the fulcrum of their attack, it's Emer Gallagher dictating everything. She wants to get the team moving here. They've got a point. They've got a point to come within a point. They sense that they might get something out of this game. It's going to be very tough for them, but it would be a great result for them if they did get something out of it with this very, very young team. Long way to go, of course. And this is McGrady now, and she's another of the players coming back from injury. Comes inside, leaves a couple of players behind her. Brilliant play from Shannon, and eventually it's called back for a free. So she did draw a free, and it is a chance of an equaliser. Bit difficult from that angle, but it is a chance.
Yeah, it seems to be that I'd say most of our scores have came from this side. It's kicking into that wind. I know obviously didn't go for it, went short at that time.
And now from play, she'll maybe try. Well, she tries to give it inside. Try to work something here because it was a tricky angle. And it's a free in. I was going to say, actually, I think he's given it for the incident just before that.
I thought so, but obviously not.
Yeah, it was almost like the Galway player who was flattened there was on the blind side, so I thought that was going to be harsh, but I think he'd just given it for another challenge just before that. But it means Donegal have a chance for an equaliser. She takes a couple of steps inside and she's put it over. Good comeback by Donegal. They'll be very happy with the character of this team, and this young team might just be lifted by that. You just see a little bit of a spring in their step now.
Yeah, you do. Galway.
When they go short this time, that's a tricky one in there, but Sarah Lynch, the captain, has managed to get it under serious pressure. Donegal's press there almost worked, but Galway have got out, and now it's Megan Glynn. I think we've got a game on here now. It's interesting. It's 6 points all. Going into the last quarter, it's up for grabs. Glynn puts it in there, and Saskia Boyle, you knew she was going to be there, but she gives it away, and so there's still a chance for Galway to get back in front. They get it to Lindsay Noon, one of the shooters, and she gets it inside. They might even get more out of this. They go for goal, and it's flashed over to the left-hand side. They get nothing in the end. And you know what's interesting, as we watch it again, a few minutes ago, Galway could have been 3 points up, and I thought they might regret that, and the way things are going, I think they are regretting it, because they're right back to 6-all, and Donegal have a chance.
Yeah, we can see Tracy Leonard coming in here for Galway. Tracy's had such a super career. She's been always there for Galway, and to come back again, she'll be a huge addition. So hopefully she can get on the scoreboard.
Yes, very significant substitution for Galway. Tracy Leonard is back, a cousin of Roisin, wearing 25 from Corofin. And Emer, I remember filming on this ground, a game where she actually did her cruciate.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I actually have it on film now. I wouldn't show it, and that actually wasn't one of those ones that was excruciating pain. She went down and got up as if she was going to play on.
Yeah, and you know what, she had such a good recovery. It's worked so hard to get back, and has had super years since playing, and hopefully many more to come.
Yeah, and she's such a quality footballer, and that's what you need games like this. Lovely two-footed player and great finisher as well. So one Leonard's gone on off, but we have another cracking Leonard on the field.
But as you did mention, Jerome, yeah, you know, we would say that Galway could have gone 3 ahead. Now we have a level game. Donegal have definitely been more dominant in the last few minutes.
Great catch there by Kate Slevin, and they've got inside, and it's Megan Glynn there. She's trying to get through, trying to pull her way through, and referee says over carrying. Home crowd not happy with that. I think they were expecting a little bit more, but that's stretching the optimism, I think. Watch it again there. Do you agree, Emer?
Oh, you have no. In fairness, Donegal did very well defending that. There was no, there was 2 around her. You know, she tried to get past them, but Donegal stood their ground. You couldn't say that was a free in, really.
Eva Walsh is on now for Donegal. I mentioned that a few minutes ago from Niamh Podrick, number 27. So she's into the play, and she has replaced the number 11 Katie Long for Donegal. That's the switch there. Do you know what was interesting off camera there, I have to say? When the move was going down the right there for Galway, Tracy Leonard came right over from the right corner into the middle of the field. It was like she was playing her own game or anticipating the game, anticipating the play.
Yeah, so she's a very smart footballer, you know, just knows where to be and can nearly foresee the next move. Oh,
that's a poor ball because it's been intercepted by Leanne Cohen, and it's a chance. And Galway looking to get back in front, and they've got it over the bar. 7 points to 6. Donegal's comeback has been stilted because Chloe Miskell was involved there. Let's have another look at it. There is Miskell playing it into the corner, steadied herself, and a good score for Kate Slevin.
Yeah, great score, and just that mistake there that Galway punished, but a great move by Chloe Miskell into Kate Slevin. A nice score for her.
7 points to 6 for Galway. 47.5 minutes gone. So similar to the exact same fixture last year, which ended 0-10 to 0-7. We're on course for that still. But I'd love a wee goal here in the last 10 minutes, just to give us something to talk about. And it would probably end the contest, I imagine, as well. Charlotte Cooney doing well. Galway on the break. Megan Glynn might provide the goal. She's fouled though, and it's a penalty. Seamus Mulvihill steps in, and this time Glynn does get the decision. Strong, forceful play from her twice in a row, and this time you see the run there off the shoulder, driving through, and she's fouled. What do you think, Emer?
Yeah, I think that was definitely more in worth of a free or a penalty. In this case, she just was inside the square, I think, and that you could see Charlotte Cooney, the hand pass as well. She just held it off for that split second extra to allow Megan Glynn to make that run, penetrate and run through. She's great at making that move as well.
Kate Slevin then against Aoife McColgan. She's a great shot stopper, I did mention that, but Slevin is an Ireland underage soccer player. Will she find the net? This is crucial going into the last 11 minutes of the game. Right-footed. Referee Seamus Mulvihill says up you step, but after my big build-up, she goes and just touches the ball. The nice green boots, Kate Slevin, the Ireland underage soccer player against Aoife McColgan. A slow run up. Oh, and she puts it over the bar rather than under. I'm not sure that was deliberate. She looks a little bit disappointed with it. It could still be very, very important in the winning of this game. If it is the winning of the game, it's 8 points to 6. Did you expect her to go for goal?
No,
come on, she had
to. You expected her to go low, I would say.
Yeah. Well, she did go up and touch the ball and make sure like it was okay. But maybe she slipped on the way up. I mean, we see it in the best of places. We saw in the Premier League last week there was a goal in Newcastle that was ruled out. It can happen, but I'm thinking soccer players, she's going to put that in the corner low, as you say. Brennan, what a game she has had for Galway. She's been one of the bright sparks today from Clare Galway, and she's had a great game, and she intercepted there. And to me, that's been one of the key factors today, Emer, that Galway have been that little bit sharper in anticipating things, and they have sort of got scores from it right throughout the game, and they've drawn frees as well.
Yeah, they have. I think Donegal there had that purple patch, and I suppose early on in the second half, but Galway have seemed to find their feet again and settle down, and they're working really hard and causing, I suppose, Donegal to make those mistakes. So it's benefiting them. We've got 2 point lead. It's very little in a game like this, but another chance here for Kate Slevin.
I thought it was going to get me goal after all there. I thought it was a sure thing. Might still get one. We're into the last 10 minutes now here in Tuam. It's the first game of the 2023 National Leagues in any of the divisions. Later on it's Meath against Dublin live on TG Cahir at 5:15, and then lots of games tomorrow, and then next week we're out on Saturday again, Donegal against Meath from Letterkenny, and that will be on the live stream as well. They're all on live streams, and the deal, Emer, I'm going to sell it to you here, it's amazing, €50 for all of the games in the league and the championship this year.
Oh yeah, it's super. You know, I was just thinking, like, I suppose back in the day, Jerome, there was never an option to watch any of the league games, you know, that were across the country, and so many spectators would only love the opportunity, you know, that maybe they wouldn't be in a position to travel on days like today. So, you know, such great games to be able to see.
And Kate Slevin underlines that with a fine point from distance to re-establish their 2-point lead. And do you think that it is important to have the games out there, and why do you think they're important to have them out there?
Oh, well look, there's, you know, every weekend you've got, you know, we're back to that group of 8 now in Division 1 as well as Division 2 and 3, but, you know, there's just such, there'll be, you know, such keenly fought games. You know, you've got Cork, Mayo, everyone's in with a chance, and, you know, everyone will be battling for a good position in the league, because, you know, if you've 1 or 2 slips, then you could be in a relegation battle. So,
but
you know,
the fact that the games are out there, is it that there's a wider audience waiting for it? Is it that it's visible now for young people, or is it all the relatives saying Donegal can watch this game, or people all around the world? Is it those sort of benefits?
Oh, definitely. You know, you've got all of that. Like you've mentioned, Jerome, you know, I suppose the publication of ladies football in the last few years has just gone above and beyond what we thought it would, and it's getting stronger and stronger every year. So, you know, so many people would be in a position to watch these kind of games.
Well, do you have an example or an anecdote, or someone in your family or people you know who would have said, oh yeah, we watch that now?
Oh yeah, look, you've got, you know, sure, obviously, you know, back in the day I would have been playing, so a lot of family and friends would love the opportunity, but, you know, even now you've got, you know, my uncle in Kilkenny would be tuning in to go, you know, they've always still have that interest, as well as overseas. You know, so many girls that, you know, maybe be involved with teams like this have taken a year out and can tune in, you know, across the world. So, you know, it's just opportunities for everyone to see what we've got in store and see what the work that these girls are putting in behind the scenes.
23, Sophie Healy is coming on for Galway. And she comes in for Aoife Malloy, who gets a generous round of applause from the home support.
Great to see Sophie Healy. Sophie Healy suffered an injury as well, maybe 2 years ago, so great to see her back in the setup.
3-point lead for the first time in the game, and now it becomes 4, and Kate Slevin, despite missing the penalty, has stepped up and shrugged that off and put over a few great scores, and she has punished Donegal, and Galway have profited from their really good anticipation, and now it's they who are putting the press on, and Donegal are forced to go long, and they've made mistakes when they've gone long, but not this time, because that's well taken by Katie Dowds for Donegal. They did so well to get back into the game. They've got a free there. They got back into the game about 10 minutes ago, but it's really drifted away from them now. I'm not quite sure, so I'll ask my expert. What do you think sort of turned it around a bit there for Galway?
Yeah, I suppose we had was there a brief spell there that we had a level game? Or
yeah, it was 6-all, but
yeah.
Galway have the last 4.
Yeah, they have. Yeah,
and the penalty, including the penalty.
Pressure, I think, that they've put on in this middle area, really, between, you know, the mistakes that Donegal made and the, you know, changes that Galway have made have just added that little bit of an impact as well. They've worked very hard. Megan Hincklin has worked very hard in there. Chloe Miskell's worked very hard. You know, obviously Tracy there just coming in as well. So that probably extra bit of energy just seems to have benefited Galway more really than Donegal. And you know, we could easily have a similar scoreline or the same scoreline as we had maybe this time last year.
Yeah, 10 points to 7. We're only 1 away now. I should have put money on that. Not that I would ever bet. 10 points to 6, and we're into the last 5 minutes of the game, and Donegal up against it, but you just haven't had the same penetration throughout the game, and you see that example there. They just run into a maroon wall. In fact, it's a free out. It's been a frustrating day for Donegal. They did so well to get right back into it, but they weren't able to kick on, and some of the players coming back for Galway have made an impact. The Megan Glynn's of this world, as you were mentioning, Emer, and that has been a factor in this game, and it's full of pluses so far for Galway. And this is the number 2, Brona Quinn, another of the players who's come back. And now this is the sub who came on, Healy, and that's an ambitious one, but it might just stay in play. And is she going to make it? She might just make it. It's Healy now, rather, on the ball. And the pass was, no, it is Healy who, and 26 is on the ball now. That's Miskill, of course, getting my 26s and 23s mixed up, but move breaks down a little bit, and it's going to be Rogers for Donegal. But seems beyond them at this stage the way things have gone. They would need a goal, and they haven't had even a sniff of a goal in the entire game. Pressure exerted by Glynn, and forced to go back to Aoife McColgan. It's hard to see where it might come from for Donegal, but Gallagher keeps going, keeps providing possession. And McGinley, but again they've given it away under serious pressure, and it was Leanne Cohen who provided the pressure there, and now Slevin, who's profited a lot from that, and she pops it into Tracy Leonard. Is this going to be the fairy tale score for her? She's going to set it up. Oh, and it's just gone to the left, and it's gone wide. I thought that was going to be a lovely score there right at the end of this game, but good defending.
Yeah, great defending. Good, they did well to get back and keep that. It was near certain that it could have been a goal, but Donegal did very well getting back.
But again, it was the pressure applied out, as you say, around that middle area. Yeah. And that means it is 10 points to 6 with just 3 minutes to go. And I think, is it Lindsay Noon who's down?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's managing to get up, and she will keep going, although they are lining up a substitute. And fair play to her for not taking a break. She could easily have taken a break here. All the other players are. She wanted to play.
That's right. Yeah, she's back in, and you know, it's a long campaign really, for going from just before Christmas when they finished up with that super victory.
She is coming off now, but look who's coming on.
We're seeing Marie Chogan making her entrance in again. So she's lots of experience for Galway, and will be eager to get back into the setup.
I suppose the difference is, though, that Galway have been able to bring in players of that kind of stature, and Donegal haven't had them today. Yeah,
that's the thing. But look, you know, it's going to be a long league. I'm sure there's going to be lots of ups and downs before the end of it.
59th minute of the game here in Tuam at the start of the 2023 Lidl National League, and Tracy Leonard there plays that pinpoint trademark pass off the left foot. So good to see her back, and the free given out though, because she put her hand up. I
think, did she say
you're sort of fending off a player? Referee insisting it's been taken from the right place as we go into nearly the 60th minute. And is there another substitution? I think it is. Yeah,
I think Ellen Power from Mike Cullen is after coming in for clubmate Alva Davern.
Yeah.
So Alva had a good 2 scores, I think, or 1 score and a near second.
Donegal have come back to their goalkeeper a lot. That tells a bit of a story, doesn't it? Tracy Leonard now running back, and that has been one of the stories as well. Players like that coming back, and here she goes. Great to see Tracy Leonard back, and she's involved a lot there as well. She's the playmaker and has been for years, and she's now making play right at the end of this game. We're nearly in added time at the end as Galway try and get a score just to add the icing, but they come all the way back now to the captain. And Sarah plays it nicely over to this side to Healy, another of the subs who have come in, and now it's back with Leonard. And she's now dictating the play. She's got into her groove. And Galway have Donegal camped in their own half right at the end of the game. 10 points to 6. We're in added time, and that one's gone to the right, and it's gone wide. And Donegal lining up a sub right at the end, and it's Shauna Higgins from St Eunan's. She's going to come in, and they're lining up another one as well, number 17, Cody Walsh from Convoy is coming in. I'm mentioning St Eunan's. We're there next week for the stream between Donegal and Meath, the All-Ireland and League champions from St Eunan's and Letterkenny. Next Saturday we will be live streaming that game for you. And Donegal just bringing on a couple of players and off a couple of players in at a time right at the end. 15 and 18 coming off. That's McGarvey and White. And they get it from the kick out. Still keeping going right to the end, and this is Boyle, who's had a very good game for them under pressure, but gets the ball up the line. Will they finish with something special right at the end? Jodie McFadden, who came on at the end of the first half, involved, and number 19 Shauna Higgins, who has just come in. This is Boyle again, but it's intercepted. It's really good anticipation once again from Galway. They've done that so many times and they've hurt Donegal with challenges like that, and it was the 29 Ellen Power, who's just into the game. Of course, she's fresh from only having coming in. 10 points to 6. We're in the 62nd minute now. Galway on their way to victory. Kate Garrity goes crossfield. So many times Donegal have done that and it hasn't worked, but Galway's passes have been very accurate and good. Strong play going forward by Brona Quinn, but Donegal have turned that one over. What can they do on the break here? There's a poor pass and it's Galway now. The pass is going astray right at the end and out of time at the end of this game, and Lynn gets possession. She keeps possession and she spots, or they spot, Tracy Leonard, who's always available around this sort of area, the fulcrum of the attack, and gives it to Healy, and they're just going to be quite adept at keeping possession now, I would imagine. Left foot or right foot, and Leonard starting to pop the ball around confidently the way that we expect from her. We're in the 63rd minute now, and Kate Garrity gives it to Cohen, and they're just saying, catch us if you can now. We have the ball, we're keeping possession, and drawing Donegal out, but that pass has gone astray, but it's actually ended up with Sophie Healy, so it's worked out well for Galway, and they might finish this game. Ellen Power, and she is going to power forward. She's needs a little bit of help, and of course it's Kate Slevin. She's always been available in the second half. She put a penalty over the bar, but she scored 3 or 4 other points from frees and now from play right at the end of this game, and that really seals the victory. And she shrugged off the penalty miss and has finished the game really, really well for the home team.
Yeah, I think 6 maybe on the board for Kate Slevin, but you know, really good work there from Galway again. I think they, you know, there was a lot of people in the mix for that, in lead up for that score, as you mentioned, Ellen Power, who's another young talent that's coming in.
It's Linda Booth going on now as well for the last few seconds, so they've certainly used their subs, and Shauna Brennan, who has run herself to a standstill. The ball kicked out around the middle, and we still go on. 64th minute of the game now, and Donegal haven't scored for a long time, but they'd love a wee score here at the end, and they might get it, because there's an interesting ball played into the substitute Cody Walsh, who's just come on from Convoy. She does brilliantly to win possession, and they get a free in as well. They might just get their score right at the end. They're 5 points down though, and they'll need something a little bit, well, very, very special if they're going to win it. But I wonder, will they go for goal here, or will they take their points? What do you think, Emer?
I can't see them go for a goal, but I suppose, look, with the way the league is, you really need to...
Oh, hold on. Emer Gallagher's gone up there. I think
okay, it could
they're
be
going
a long...
put it in here.
Yeah.
Give us it. I mean,
yeah, it's
not a guarantee that they'll get a point anyway, so...
No, 5 points down, you're as well to give it a shot.
Well, it's as simple as ABC, and Emily Boyle-Carr has the ball.
Yeah, she's had a great game so far, a real strong runner.
Yeah, she's dropping it in there, but a fist on it as well. The goalkeeper's alert though, Alana Griffin, and I imagine that will be enough, and it is indeed. It's a home win for the Galway girls, 11 points to 6. They have started the 2023 Lidl National League well, and players like that, Tracy Leonard, great to see her back, and Megan Glynn. Mairead Shoga came on at the end as well. Galway looking more like themselves by the end of the game. It was low scoring in the first half, but in the end they have prevailed, and they have deserved to win this victory, Emer.
Yeah, you have to say, look, at the start I suppose there was really nothing between either of them. But Galway did just show that little bit more experience. I think they put a lot of pressure, caused Donegal to make the mistakes, and I suppose that the mix of a lot of young girls on the Donegal team may have, just not been enough to get them over the line today.
11 points to 6, is that a fair reflection?
Yeah, I thought, Donegal there early on in the second half were going to power ahead and maybe stay ahead, but Galway just pulled it away, and Kate Seven there, I think the 6 points that she got, just really pulled Galway that bit further ahead, and it was a good win for them in early first round of the league.
Last thing you need to do, player the match.
Oh,
and a few
God.
Contenders.
Really?
Oh, okay. I caught you really by surprise
You did.
there. You've forgotten. I'll help you out. I'll name a
Do.
few. And you have a wee think there for a second.
Okay.
But obviously, for Galway, their defence was so solid. I mean, Brona Quinn was really good coming back in there. Charlotte Cooney had a good game for me. Both midfielders played well. Kate Slevin, obviously, for all those scores. Lindsay Noon was really good for all of the game, just came off right at the end. Roisin Leonard, great to see her back. She went off a little bit early. And for Donegal, I mean, for me, Evelyn McGinley was very good at the back. Emer Gallagher drove forward all day long and sort of kept them all going in there. And then around the middle, Roisin Rogers was good. And in the forwards there, Saskia Boyle, to me, was the pick probably of the whole Donegal team. She was involved in just about everything all over the field. She had a great game as well. What do you think?
Yeah, look, like you said, all of those girls that were mentioned, but I suppose for Galway, when you look across, it was a very steady performance, and it's great to see young girls like Brona Quinn, Shauna Brennan having such an impact. But with 6 points there, I don't know if you could look past Kate Seven. Really, she pulled it out of the bag when she needed to, and that's the difference between the team really. So I think maybe credit goes to her today.
Just finally, there's a gentleman to our right here. Do you recognise him? Tony Boyle. Played for Donegal back in the day when they won their All-Ireland. Full forward, smashing player as well. He was just waving at me there. I'm not sure if it's because we're both Arsenal fans, or I'm wondering actually, is Saskia Boyle a daughter of his? I'm not quite sure. Is he related in some way? She's from Dunlow, but he's got a smile on his face. He's quite content, even though they get beat there today. So Tony Boyle in the crowd today supporting the Donegal girls, even though they've been beaten. And you see Maxie Curran out there, the manager. He's been there a good few years, must be about 6 years now, and he's not laying down the law. I think he's making it clear to them that they put in a good effort today, and that it's a long league and they all had their chance today and they'll all benefit from it. I would imagine that's a message.
Oh, huge. Yeah, absolutely. Look, Donegal with the position they were in, just to be so close last year, and have the girls come back into the setup. He's got a lot of the newbies blooded there and got some game time into their legs, and you can, like you said, Saskia Boyle and the likes making a great impact on the team. So look, Donegal are by no means going to be affected majorly. I think obviously they will need to get some wins on the board to there's not going to be any easy games, I think, in this league, but it's going to be a long campaign for them, and I've no doubt that they're going to be definitely up there for the rest of the league and the championship.
Okay, Emer Flaherty, thank you very much for joining us today. The smiles are on the Galway faces, although Donegal will not be too despondent. At the end, it's a victory for Galway, 11 points to 6. We hope you've enjoyed the first live stream of 2023 in ladies Gaelic football in the National League. From Tuam, it's goodbye.